Welcome all to the SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Kritika Valecha. Today I am going to share with you all the explanation regarding the second chapter of the business management subject, that is planning. This is the subject of TY BCom. We are going to start with the explanation part. So we'll first start with the concept and the definition of planning. So about the concept of planning. What is the concept of planning? Planning, it provides a sense to the business activities. It provides a sense of direction. See, if you don't know where you're going, no road will take you there. So it is always better that we should first know what our destination is. Planning bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to go. So, in short, we can say before starting any type of activity, before doing any type of work, we first need to do the planning for each and every activity, for each and every type of work. So, we will move ahead with the definition of planning. What is the definition of planning? Planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who is to do it. We get the answers for all the questions in the definition of planning. First is what to do, means what work we are needed to be performed, what work we want to perform, what work we are actually associated to do for. Second, how to do it, how we will conduct the work, what procedure we will adopt for conducting the work. Next, it is when to do it, what time will be suitable, what time will be best for doing that particular type of work. And the last one is who is to do it, which person will be held responsible for doing the particular type of work. So all the questions regarding the definition of planning we get in the correct form when we study about the definition. Next one is, we'll start with the nature and characteristics of planning. What is the nature and characteristics? This is the features of planning. What all things planning is oriented to do. First, it is planning is goal oriented. Whenever we make plans for the organization, all the plans are made keeping in mind what the goals the organization wants to achieve, where we stand, what is our present position, and where we want to be in the future, what will be our future position. So always the plans are developed and executed to achieve the goals. Planning will have no meaning unless it contributes to the achievement of the goals. So whenever the planning is done, it should be kept in mind that all the plans are made for achieving the goals of the organization. Next one is future oriented. Every time the plans are made by the organization, it is made for the future activities. It is always the future related activity. So for planning, we need to make the necessary forecasts. Forecasts are nothing but the prediction, estimations. We make it about the future, and accordingly we frame the plans, we make the plans. Next one is the continuous activity. Planning is a continuous activity. It is an ongoing process. Until the organization exists, we need to plan each and every activity that requires the continuous checking of the events, because the organization keeps on working continually till it exists. So we have to keep on planning the work on the continuous basis. Next one is link between the past, present, and future. Planning is a link between the past, present, and future. As we have studied earlier, it is a future related activity, but without considering the past and the present events, we will not be able to predict correctly about the future. So, to be sure about the events which are going to occur in the future, we need to connect it with the past and the present events, and then only we can be able to make the proper plans. Next one is primacy of planning. Primacy is nothing but the basic function, primary function of the planning. Without planning, we cannot conduct any of the activities. We will not be able to arrange the resources, we will not be able to provide the directions to the subordinates, and we will not be able to control the activities of the organization. So, planning is necessary for all the functions of the management. Without planning, we cannot execute any of the function. Next one is pervasiveness of planning. What is pervasiveness? Pervasiveness means it is applicable to all the walks of life. Planning is the function of every manager. Every manager, at the time of conducting any type of activity, at the time of doing any type of work which is given to him, he needs to plan it. So this planning, it is applicable to the business organizations as well as to the non-business organizations, such as the charitable institutions, educational institutions, government organizations. For every organization, planning is very much essential. Next one is intellectual process. Managers, along with the initiative, they are also expected to be innovative. They should come up with the new ideas, new suggestions. So the success of plans depends upon the intelligence level of the manager, the creativity which he applies at the time of framing the plans, and he should be imaginative enough, he should be intelligent enough so that he can make the proper plans for the organization. Next one is integrated process. Integrated means we have to combine the plan of one department with that of the overall plan of the organization. We have different departments in the organization. If there is an integration, if there is a coordination, communication between all the plans, if we can link all the plans together, if we can connect all the plans together, then only it will be possible for us to make our organization successful and we can achieve the objectives of the organization. Next one is, we'll start with the next concept, that is merits of planning. Merits is nothing but the advantages, benefits of planning. What are things we will be able to achieve if we plan our work in a systematic manner? First one is minimizes the risk. Planning helps us to minimize the risk, means it helps us to reduce the risk. Risk are the possibilities if in the future period of time we are facing any type of risk in our business organization, so we should be prepared well in advance. For that we need to forecast all the things properly, we need to make the proper predictions, then only we will be able to deal with all the unforeseen risks which are going to come in our way in the future period of time. Next one is facilitates coordination. Coordination means working together as a team, working together as a group in the unity. So there's always a need to coordinate the plan of one department with all the plans of other departments in the organization. Because of the unity, we'll be able to achieve the objectives of the organization, and if there is unity, all the things will go in place. Next one is facilitates organizing. Organizing means we need to arrange all the resources properly. We need to make the arrangement of all the resources for carrying out our work on time. We have three type of resources in the organization. First is the physical resources, second we have the financial resources, and third we have the human resources, that is the manpower required for conducting the activities, for conducting the work. So there's always a need that the manager should properly organize all the resources that are required for conducting the activities of the organization, and planning helps the manager to properly organize the resources. Next one is facilitates proper direction. Planning provides the proper directions. Direction means it provides the proper timetable, proper schedules as to when to start the work and when the work should be completed. So because of the planning, we are able to start the work on time and complete all the activities on time as well. Next, we'll move with the next point, that is generates efficiency. Efficiency is nothing but the relation between the returns and the cost. If we are incurring less expenses and we are earning the higher returns, then we can say the firm is efficient firm. So planning helps the optimum utilization of resources, because of which we can be called as the efficient firm, and because of which we can be able to achieve the highest possible returns at the lowest possible cost. Next one is focus on goals. As we have studied in the first point in the features, that planning is goal oriented, means it focuses on the goals, on achievement of the objectives of the organization. Since plans are made for every activity which is there in the organization, so we can say that planning is executed for achieving certain goals. Next one is encourages innovation. Innovation means to come up with the new ideas, new suggestions, and to we can say we have to think creatively. So on the part of the managers, we expect the creative thinking. The creative thinking is encouraged on the part of managers, because of which they can come up with the new suggestions, new ideas, and they will be able to achieve the results as per the plans. Next one is, we'll start with the next concept, that is limitations of planning. It is nothing but the demerits, or we can say the disadvantages of planning. Since every coin has two sides, so along with the merits, there are certain demerits as well, which are associated with the concept of planning. First one is time consuming. For making certain plans, it is easier, but to implement it, it is very difficult. Since we require the participation of the subordinates, higher authorities, approval, all these things require a lot of time and efforts. So we can say that planning is a time consuming process. Next one is paperwork. Planning requires a good deal of paperwork. Rather, we can say everything we do while framing the plans, we have to put it on paper. So many a times, due to the situations, due to the conditions, the plans are to be drawn and redrawn again and again. So there's a good amount of paperwork which is involved in the planning process. Next one is expensive. A good amount of money is spent on collecting the data and on analyzing the data. So for all these things to be carried out smoothly, we have to incur a lot of expenses for planning. So we can say that before finalizing the plans also, we need to pay the consultancy fees if we have taken any suggestions from the outside consultants. So a good amount of expenditure is involved while framing the plans. Next one is generates rigidity. Sometimes managers are of the opinion that whatever is mentioned in the plans, we have to go with them and we have to abide by all the things which are there in the plans. But due to the situations, sometimes the situations may not permit us to do so. So because the plans are fixed, they are rigid, we cannot change them even if the situation demands, which discourages the subordinates. Subordinates lose their initiative and they may not be willing to participate in the planning process. Next one is generates frustration. At times, managers may not be able to achieve the targets. The targets which are set in front of them, may not be able to achieve it. Despite they are putting all their efforts, but they are not able to achieve the targets. This generates the frustration on the part of the managers. The stress is created at the workplace. So planning, sometimes it generates the frustration. Next is problem of changing situations. Sometimes the situation is like that the best plans are also waste. The best plans are also cannot be implemented. So we can say that according to the situations, if we are able to modify the plans, then only we can put the plans into implementation. We can use it practically and achieve our objectives. Next one is essentials of a good plan. What are things are necessary if we need to frame a good plan? These are all the features, these are all the points which should be there while we are framing a good plan. First one is simplicity. A plan must be simple and it should be easy to understand. At the time of reading the plan which is put on the paper, we should be able to understand what we want to achieve, what we are going to do. So it is always advisable the plan must be clearly defined, and the persons, those who are implementing it, they should clearly understand the plan. Next one is flexibility. As we have studied in the demerits section, that planning generates the rigidity. So plans should not be rigid, they should not be fixed. They should allow us to make certain changes, certain modifications as and when the situation demands. So it should offer a great deal of flexibility. Next one is suitability. It should be suitable to the particular department or to the particular unit for which the plans are made. If depending upon the targets, depending upon the capabilities, on the resources which we are having, the targets should be set. Next one is Acceptance. The plans should be acceptable to the subordinates. See, because subordinates are those persons who are going to practically implement the plans. So if the subordinates are involved in the decision making, if the subordinates are involved in the planning process, they will be easily able to implement the plan, and they will be more encouraged and motivated to accept the plan. Next, it is facilitates organizing. While making the good plans, we should see to it that it facilitates, it helps in proper arrangement of all the resources which are required for the activities of the organization. Since we have all the three type of resources, we will be able to achieve the objectives of the organization, and along with that we will be able to conduct all the activities smoothly and efficiently. Next one is provides direction. A good plan, it works as a work map. It provides the guidelines, it provides the direction where we want to go and where we want to reach. Everything is provided clearly. So we can say that as since plans provide us with a good direction, we can reach easily to our destination. Next one is generates harmony. Harmony is nothing but the team spirit, working together as a group, working together as a team. So there should be unity between the different departments of the organization. If we have the harmony, if we are working together, the team spirit is there, we will be able to achieve all the goals of the organization, and that too without any obstacles. Next one is generates efficiency. All the plans, all the good plans which are made, they make the best possible use of the resources. They make the optimum utilization of resources. So it reduces the wastage and it generates the efficiency. We can achieve the highest possible returns with the minimum cost.